Hey everybody, I'm AdamHarry from BoLS, here to show off the new Necron releases for Warhammer 40k for this week. We've got a lot of stuff to show off. We have the new Monolith, boom. We have the Convergence of Dominion. We've got the Ophidian Destroyers. And we also have the Satan Shard of the Void Dragon. I'm excited about all these models, so let's dive in. Here up first are the Ophidian Destroyers for the Necrons. This is a new close combat unit. I am personally very curious about this one. It does look like you have a couple of different weapon options in there. Well, we'll see. I haven't opened this box up yet. Haven't got to build these models yet, so this is my first time, too, of looking at these miniatures. Dump out the stuff. It does come with a little canoptic little termite dude. All right, 1, 2, 3 bases. All right, and I think those are like 50mm bases. Instructions, it only comes on, like, it's really just those sprues there like that. So, and then instructions on how to put them together here. Too bad, they don't look too bad. So, remind me a little bit of the Scorpec Destroyers for obvious reasons. But, yeah, those are the sprues. And let's see, that would actually go like that, I believe. So, let's take a closer look at these real fast. Move the bases to the side. We'll do these two and then the other one. But you can see there, again, these guys remind me also of like Scorpec Destroyer combined with Wraiths, Necron Wraiths. So I guess that's what they were going for. Instead of warping through space-time, though, these tunnel through the underground and pop up out of the ground, according to their lore. So, yeah, but they have a couple of different weapon options there. They got the claws, they got the big Ophidian choppy sticks, axes or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about them. They're very Necron-y. They don't look too bad to build, and it's another close combat option for the Necron army, which kind of makes me want to try that playstyle with them. I think you can probably get away with it now with the new codex. So, yeah. Again, haven't got to build these yet. I'm looking forward to it, though. They don't look too bad. Next up, we'll take a look at the Convergence of Dominion. Now, this is the new Necron terrain feature, which is kind of interesting. I like the way they did this, where it looks like basically the same pylon, but in 3 different stages of disrepair, where one's got like the stone mostly intact, somewhat intact, and then it's just straight up revealing the inner pylon, as it were. So, kind of neat. Haven't built this one yet either. Whoa. Instructions, and that's it. Okay. No bases, which, okay, I mean, makes sense. Let's look at the instructions. This looks like it's going to go together real fast. Man, I kind of think I should have built these now, because it would have taken all of like 10 minutes to clip and clean these. It's basically, yeah, it's basically 2 of the same sprue. So let's just take a look at this one, and I'll zoom in here. So, yeah, that's... These are just big chunks of plastic. They don't look very complicated at all to build. Matter of fact, from the flip side of it, you're just going to cut them out, clean them on the sides, and then they have pins, essentially, for where everything's going to fit together. Not pins. Well, yeah, they have little pegs. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to be a super complex build. Nope, not at all. Matter of fact, I want to call out to you the plastic on this. This feels like thicker plastic. I don't know if it was just a mold that they were using, or if it's a actual different plastic than some of the other kits they're using. But it definitely feels more like, I don't know if you've built like terrain features or terrain kits from GW. This feels more like a terrain set than some of the other miniatures. But cool stuff. Next up, we have a model that might get me to play Necrons, not gonna lie. The Satan Shard of the Void Dragon. I really like the look of this model, and honestly, it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad to paint from a hobby perspective in terms of painting it up. I just doesn't look very intimidating to paint. So, yeah, the lightning looks cool, but you can fake that effect pretty well, I think. Here's the instructions. Flip through that real fast. Yeah, doesn't look too bad. Matter of fact, we'll talk about that in a second, because I did actually build this model, and I'll show that off here in a minute. But let me show the sprues off. Again, maybe it's a smaller base than you were expecting. But yeah, that is the base size there, and that of course is the sprue. So what does this bad boy even look like? Well, I'm glad you asked. There you go. We'll take a closer look. We'll look at the sprue real fast, and I'll show the model off in a little bit. But zoom in real fast, and you get a nice look at what the model is. There were a couple of bits here that I want to call out specifically as like, hey, be aware when you're building this. I actually had to use tweezers. I never have to use tweezers to build GW stuff, but it turns out this time I did. It's a chest piece, and I'll call it, there it is. It's right there, that bit right there. Matter of fact, I will flip it around and zoom in on it particularly because it doesn't look like much. It's just part of the upper torso there, the right torso. But I had to use tweezers to fit it in place, and I'll show it on the model here in a second. But other than that, the rest of this model went together really well. It's got some really neat undercuts that GW did on this model. I would not have been able to do that in a metal model or even resin, I would think. This would have been really tricky, unless your resin is set up like this. But yeah, it was just really cool, and yeah, it was kind of fun to build. I think it took me about an hour and a half, maybe 2, to get everything assembled. But I also build kind of fast, and I do take my time with stuff, but you know, I've been doing this for a while, guys. Come on. Cut me some slack here. Well, anyway, let's look at the. So I want to show this off again. There's the chest piece, and you can kind of see the undercut where it goes together up on the neck and shoulders there, and it actually covers up the heart or crystal. I don't know if it's actually the Satan's heart or not, but you can see there in the middle of your screen. That heart goes. They had the really cool cut when they designed it to get it to fit in there. But it's such a neat model to build. Once you get everything out, you're kind of like looking at the bits like, I don't know how this is going to fit together. But then you do it and you're like, oh, wow, that was really smart. Pretty slick. I also like the fact that its face is like an empty void. This is the Void Dragon, after all. And rotating the model around, he's got the little dude on his back, the wings. Really nice touch there. This is an interesting thing too. I know a lot of people are worried about like, hey, but it doesn't look very stable. Check this out. Upside down, shaking it, like, it's fine. Like, it's really, yeah. So, I used plastic glue, not super glue. Maybe that helped, but yeah, it's super stable. On the tabletop, yeah, it's a little springy, but that's just because of, I mean, it's just because it's a kind of spindly model. But yeah, the base is super stable. The electricity thing they had going on here in the bottom here, the energy coils or whatever, are actually anchored really well onto the base, and it just went together like a dream. And I know it looks off center, but that's actually what they recommend to do, because when you the base is a little off center because of the energy stuff they have going on, so it ends up being correct. And once you add a little paint, a little basing material there, you can kind of push it to the edge and make it look however you want. But I really like this model. Last but certainly not least is the Monolith. This is a big old box. There's a lot of sprue, a lot of plastic in here. It's actually kind of heavy, weight-wise. Didn't know this, but there's a couple of different gates you can build on the Monolith. You can have this one with the Necron Warrior being phased in, or you can actually build it with just the energy arcs going and no Necron Warrior coming through there. I actually did build this model. I did not opt for the Necron Warrior walking through the portal because it was getting late and I was tired of building it, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think it looks better with the clean portal. But I don't know. We'll take a look here, find out. So what's in the box? Instructions. This model is actually fairly straightforward up until a point, and we'll talk about that. First thing you're going to build is the core section here. That's important. We went with death rays, by the way, instead of the gauze option. But we did go with the death rays. This part here is very straightforward building the core. This little guy was just a lot of little bits and was kind of annoying to build, but it wasn't that bad. Once you glue it to the there's another big bit. You glue it to the top of that. It attaches to the core. It looks really cool. That's the core. At this point, personally, I would recommend you stop, prime this thing, paint it, get it where you want it before you move on to assembling the rest of it. Now, I should say attaching the rest of it, because you probably still want to assemble everything. Next up, you pick your weapon options and assemble the monolith. Funnily enough, these numbers are wrong. So there's like a 41 and a 42, but they have 42 and 42. That didn't work if you tried to build it that way. It wouldn't work. But you build 2 sets of these, and then those are the 2 walls. And once you attach these to the core, you really can't get back to that core at all to paint stuff. It's just good luck, because like I said, you assemble it and put it on the core. So basically, you're going to want to build the 2 sides first and then glue it together, or build the 2 sides, build the core, paint everything, and then glue it all together in one big, nice, cool model. And you get the 2 options there with the 2 different gate options. Anyway, let's look at the sprues. So realistically, it's 2 sets of 2 sprues, and then 2 more other sprues, and then a frisbee disc for a base. So there's your frisbee disc. There's also a water slide transfer sheet in there too. So there's these 2 sprues. I'm going to move the excess sprue over to the side for now, and we'll take a look at each one of these individually. So first up, the big walls. I don't think this needs to be overstated, but or restated, but again, assemble this thing completely first. It goes together pretty idiot-proof, to be honest with you. Everything fits really well. The tolerances on it are pretty good. You may have a little bit of a gap when you're gluing the walls together here, but I think once you get some paint on it, or if you want to use some green stuff, some kind of seam filler, if you use like what is it? Modeling plastic cement glue, you can smooth out that line, or put some glue or green stuff putty, whatever. It's up to you. But yeah, the seams aren't too bad. So there's that sprue. The other 1/2 of the core, everything, like I said, goes together really easily. It's pretty straightforward. You really can only assemble this thing really one way, not counting the gate or the weapons. So yeah, lots of detail. I love the stone, the black stone that they did on this miniature too. It's really, really cool. And then these 2 sprues, again, you get the little stairways. These were actually easier to build than the Silent King steps, I will say, because they're already assembled. So thanks, GW, for making that one easy. But there's that little weird gate that you're going to glue to the core of it. Yeah. So other side of those sprues. Let's look at the model, though, right? I know that everybody wants to see this bad boy. Boom! There you go. And it does have one of the little flying stand things like you have on a repulsor or impulsor. So you can, I don't know if I can unattach it now, but I did glue them to the base. And you know what? I don't want to break it. So, but anyway, it's super stable, like with those bases, so it stays put. I feel bad because I did glue everything together, so I think the inside's probably going to get primed black and then dry brushed with a lot of stuff. But you can't really get a brush in there easily. So I'm sorry, probably future me for that, or whoever has to paint this thing. But I don't know. It's a really cool model, though. It is way bigger and heftier and solid than the previous one. Is it Lord of War heavy? I mean, it is now. So when you're going back from there, you can see the black stone on the inside too. I thought that was a really nice touch. There's even extra little details on the inside of those walls. So if you wanted to, like I said, paint them, you can get in there. It'll actually show up when you assemble the model. So really cool. I like the little vents on the side, the ribs of the whole thing. It's just a neat model, and yeah, these things. Well, some of them stay in place. So again, make sure everything's nice and taut. One of them works correctly. The other ones are a little wobbly. My bad. But it's a really cool model. I like it a lot. We have to build and paint it now, so I gotta go. But there you go. That's the Monolith. Well, there you have it, folks. That was the new releases for the Necrons. Again, the Monolith, which was a super big kit, lots of fun to build. The Convergence of Dominion, which looks like a really easy kit to build. I'm going to knock that out here after needing a break from the Monolith. The Ophidian Destroyers, really fun looking. Can't wait to build those. And of course, the Void Dragon I really like this model a lot. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to paint. But anyway, that is it from here at BoLS. I'm AdamHarry. Thank you for watching. Click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.